Medjugorje's changed my life. It's modeled my priesthood, and I've just seen so many beautiful fruits happen through Medjugorje. I grew up in a family, there's 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls. We're the Brady Bunch. I had a very religious parents, and I got a nickname at school called Bible. I started to rebel from that. I didn't want to be known as Bible or a Bible basher or Mr. Goody Two Shoes. So it was probably about the time of 1981 I started to really fall away from my faith with alcohol. I was only 16 and the party scene started in my area, and it was cool to attend the parties, and then the drinking got worse, and then it became drugs. While studying civil engineering at UTS, University of Technology in Sydney, in the heart of Sydney, I came across a Croatian friend that was studying with me, and he told me about Medjugorje, and I was intrigued. I thought, that's interesting, but we're both rebels, and it was just a good story, and that was about it. Just to typify how crazy we were, one night we climbed the Sydney Opera House. There were 8 of us. We got to the very top, and we thought we were kings of the world, and a lot of chest beating, aren't we great? Drugs and whatnot. And in my group of friends, I lost 13 friends in total. 3 from suicide, accidents associated with drugs. The culture of death was very much part of my life, and it was only a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. My brother, he came to Medjugorje in 1987, and he came back on fire. And he said to me, I'd love to shout you a trip there, because he knew what I was like. He was my older brother. And I said, well, what's it all about? And he showed me a brochure of Medjugorje. I said, you kidding me? That looks too religious, no way. But my younger sisters, identical twins, they said, oh, we'd love to go. So my brother shouted them a trip here in 88. And I noticed a big change in them when they came back. And then my parents decided to come here in 1989 for their 30th wedding anniversary. Well, my father was just overwhelmed by all the supernatural activity happening here. And so he decided to make a full, integral confession. But to his surprise, the priest really focused on watching too much television. He thought, oh, that's a bit strange. But when he got back, he decided to move the television from the prominent position in the family home to a side room and set up a family altar, as Our Lady wants in Medjugorje, the Bible to be open in the family home, and to set up a beautiful spot to pray. And I thought, Dad's lost the plot. But every now and then I'd look and read what page he was up to in the Bible. And so it was starting to have a little effect on me. But then they started to pray the rosary. They started to fast Wednesday and Friday, bread and water. And I thought, this is really getting weird. I said, what are you doing this for? And they said, we're praying that our children come back to the faith. At this stage, I was working as a project manager, looking after construction sites, earning a lot of money, had a beautiful girlfriend, had a great car. Everything was going great. Big investments. Had an investment unit in downtown Sydney, which had doubled in value, had shares and gold, and things were going great financially, but spiritually I was bankrupt. I actually belonged to that lukewarm church spoken of in the book of Revelation, where Jesus said, how I wish you either hot or cold, the lukewarm I'll vomit out of my mouth. And I was so lukewarm. I was like a Frank Sinatra Catholic. I'll do it my way, thank you very much. Confession, forget it. But then I'd say, Dad, what do you want for your birthday? He'd say, all I want is for you to go to confession. Dad, what do you want for Father's Day? All I want is for you to go to confession. And I said to Dad, what do you want for Christmas? He said, all I want is for you to go to confession. And I got caught in a parking jam, a traffic jam, outside St Mary's Cathedral, this beautiful cathedral in Sydney. And I went in and finally confessed, and I just felt so relieved. The priest was so welcoming, so friendly and helpful, because I said, Father, I wouldn't have a clue what to say. It's been so long. Help me. And he did. When he gave me absolution, I just, from head to toe, just felt this beautiful peace rain right through my body. the marijuana, the speed, all these binge drinking, they're all still there. But they were slowly, Our Lady and above all, Jesus was cleansing me. So I said to Mum and Dad, can we please start a prayer group? They said, okay. I said, okay, well, so there was just 5 of us. We started the Maori Movement of Priests, Senecal, because Our Lady here in Medjugorje is talking about the importance of prayer groups. I knew I needed that to get back on the right path. Within a short period of time, we had up to 50 young people coming to this prayer group. We even had to knock out a wall of the house, and it was just amazing. And then the vocations started coming one after another, and I remember shaking this guy's hand and saying, congratulations. In the back of my mind, I'm saying, no way, God, don't you dare call me. I don't want to do that. And there were 12 young men that went to the seminary from this prayer group. There was 8 women that joined the convent, and there were marriages that formed through this prayer group. And I was the last. I was very reluctant. But I had this girl, a beautiful girlfriend, and we've been going out for 6.5 years, and I was very close to getting married, but something was just holding me back. We had a few issues that we had to work through. The night I was considering proposing in downtown Sydney at Darling Harbour, I had a bottle of wine next to me. We just prayed the rosary at the local church, and I was running late. I was driving straight through a green light, and this taxi hit me at full speed, and my car started rolling and rolling and rolling. And I just thought, this is it. I'm 28, I'm dead. And I held on to that steering wheel so tight. I said, God, I'm too young to die. Help me, please. And as I crawled through the windscreen of this car, the first thing I saw lying in the gutter were my Medjugorje rosary beads. So I kissed them and said, thank you, God, I'm alive. Thank you, Mother Mary. It's 93, I had a huge brick phone as I used to be, and I crawled back in, got my phone, rang my girlfriend, told her I've had a little accident. And she said, don't worry, I'll come and get you. So she did. She got there and just could not believe her eyes. And she said, you're going to see this as a sign from God. The only injury I had was 3 stitches on the top of my head. It was though God was stamping me Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I've since learned that the sacraments, there's only 3 of the sacraments that leave an indelible mark on our soul: baptism, confirmation, priesthood. For the first time in my life ever, I said, Lord, what am I to do? I know what I want, but what do you want? And I'm open to your will. And it was Holy Thursday the next year. I was in the church and I just felt this incredible call. I thought, wow, do you want me to be a priest? So I started traveling with a guy called Matthew Kelly, who lives in America. He was part of our prayer group. And we went to Ireland and then America, and I just loved seeing people come to the Lord through his amazing talks. And there was a group of Texans, this is in 94, they said, would you like to come to us with us to Medjugorje? And I said, are you crazy? There's a civil war going on there at the moment. They said, no, Our Lady promised she'd protect all pilgrims. Okay, so all right, I'll go. So we landed in Dubrovnik, with the first flight to land in Dubrovnik in over 3 years on a temporary runway. And we're just busting through this devastation. And I'd never prayed a rosary with so much passion in all my life. I was pretty worried, as most of us were, all of us. Or some of them were very strong in their faith. But when we got to Medjugorje, I just felt this incredible peace come over me. It was just so beautiful. And I just thought, this place is fantastic. I met a retired Australian bishop here who promised he'd pray for me. And I said, Lord, show me. So more things started happening, and I started doing novenas, a novena to Our Lady, and she showed me very clearly that she wanted me to be a priest. So I answered the call, went to the seminary. Sadly, in the seminary, there was a few of our professors that were very against Medjugorje, and they really tried to, and I'd always debate with them, and they could never give me a clear reason why. And I said, look, you've got to look at the other side of the story. And I finally got ordained in October, the feast of the month of the Rosary. and said my first Mass on the great feast day of the Battle of Lepanto, the Feast of the Holy Rosary. Early in my priesthood, I was called to come back here. So I've become a little bit of a Pharisee in a way in my priesthood. Everything's got to be done properly and follow the rubrics and watching to make sure that. So when I came back in 2004, they announced after the evening program they're going to have a holy hour. And I thought, holy hour? After all this prayer, who's going to attend a holy hour? But I thought, well, I've got to pray my divine office, so I'll at least come along and pray. And I could not get near the church. It was just packed. And a lovely lady tapped me on the shoulder and said, Father, the priests can go in the sanctuary. Oh, thank you. So I went round, the beautiful Franciscan nuns ushered me up into the sanctuary, and the sanctuary was packed with priests. I took the last seat just in time to see the Franciscan priests go to the tabernacle, reverently bring out this huge host, place it on the altar with such reverence and love. And for me as a priest to look back on the congregation and see them all adoring Jesus and loving him, I thought, wow, this is the true Vatican II. This is the model parish of the world. And the music I was just overwhelmed. And for 1 hour, I just wept and wept and wept. It was such a cleansing. And I just could not help but think Medjugorje is, as St. John Paul II says, it's the spiritual capital of the world. He said Rome is the heart of the church, the head of the church, but Medjugorje is the heart. So I've been so blessed as a priest to come back now another 13 times. This is my 14th trip in total to Medjugorje. I just love bringing Australians here and just seeing the transformation take place in their life, especially through the confessional. This trip, I've had four 3-hour sessions in the confessional, and I just don't get tired. It's just so beautiful to hear these life-changing experiences. In my own parish life, I've tried to set up my own parish, modelling on Medjugorje, the 5 stones, and encouraging my parishioners to take on the 5 stones. And I've seen amazing fruits happen through that. We now have perpetual adoration in our parish, even though it's a fairly rural, remote part of New South Wales. It's quite a miracle that we've been able to establish perpetual adoration, which has been going now for almost 7 years. So Medjugorje's changed my life. It's modelled my priesthood, and I've just seen so many beautiful fruits happen through Medjugorje.